All right, cool. So I'm just gonna wait for a couple people to hop in here. Anyone who is new to astrology, new to my content, anything like that, this is the perfect time to grab your chart. Nice to see you all. If you're on TikTok, head over to YouTube so you can see the chart that I'm showing over here. I'm going live on YouTube, and I just want to break down for you, everyone really, the Gemini full moon, Venus retrograde, and then the Chiron direct. All of it's happening within 24 hours. So I figured I'd just make a video about it to kind of help everyone understand how to work it for themselves. Once you understand how to work it, it's a lot easier. And also, just answering some questions that y'all might have. So go ahead and type in your moon sign into the chat. I would appreciate that. Definitely type in your moon sign so we can address the moon signs that will be affected. Everyone will be affected in different ways. So I want to just address that. In this video, I'll talk about houses real quick. I think that'll be the best thing to start with, just for everybody. So I personally use lunaastrology.com. This is how I deal with everything. So whenever I'm looking at a full moon, the first thing that I do is, when you're using a transit chart, you want to just go to the date of the actual full moon. This one's is going to be on 12/18/2021, and the time is going to be, the time of the full moon is going to be exact. So the moon and the sun will be opposite at 11:36 p.m. and that's EST. So that's 10, I believe, my time. So the most important thing about the full moon is that a lot of people will say it's not a good time for manifesting. I just want to address this right away. Manifesting is happening whether you're trying to or not. Releasing is something that you can also focus on in your manifestation. So if you're looking to get rid of things that no longer serve you, this is the right time to create that environment. And you can manifest that environment for that release. You don't have to focus on, is it a good time to manifest or is it a good time to cleanse? You should always be setting yourself up intentionally to get better, let go of some habits that don't work anymore, and create some new habits or routines that allow you to become a better person. That's really what astrology is about becoming a better person. There's really not too much complicated opinions on anything. The biggest thing is when you're studying astrology, everyone, you just want to focus on studying and learning all of the zodiac signs. The faster you learn all the zodiac signs, the faster you can actually step into your own energy, which makes things a lot easier for you. All right. So when you're looking at a chart, that's really what you want to do. So I'm going to cast the chart here. As you can see, the sun is right here in Sagittarius, is going to be opposite the moon right here in Gemini. And this is cool because when the sun and the moon are opposite, they are completely looking at each other. They're really aligned with each other and seeing each other for who they are, essentially. They're celestial bodies. So the moon represents your intuition, your emotions, your subconscious mind. There's so many other things in the chart that represent subconscious intuition and all these things, but that's what the moon does specifically. The sun represents our ego, our masculinity, as well as our external intuition. So when you're expressing yourself and people sometimes feel some kind of way about how you talk, how you express, like how you explain things, that is your masculine intuition. The moon is your feminine intuition. So this Gemini full moon is going to be it's a air sign. Gemini is an air sign. Air signs are focused on, and this is what I show you in my class too, which is coming up. I'm having a class on the actual 18th. Go ahead and sign up now. It's $29.98. I'm going to be increasing the price to $100 on the 12th. So you have 2 days. So essentially, when you're looking at the fire signs, when you're looking at the air signs, the earth signs, the water signs, Gemini is an air sign, which means Gemini shares ideas and processes information intellectually. Okay. They think, they talk, they communicate. It's a mutable sign, which means they're flexible, versatile, and capable of adapting and change easily. What does that mean? That means that that's what the full moon's going to do for you. Okay. That's exactly what that means. It's not complicated. We just talked about it. Okay. So the nice thing is now all you have to do is figure out what house do you have Gemini in, because then you will know where you need to be sharing and communicating your thoughts and ideas in an adaptable, versatile way. So if you're someone who doesn't share a lot of your life, of your energy, of your time with the world, this is an invitation to do so. If you're already doing that, this is an invitation to change. Okay. If you're not doing it all and you have no desire to, ask yourself why. Why would you go your whole life not expressing your thoughts and ideas? That's a deep question that we want to ask ourselves if you're not doing it at all. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is find out what house is it in the chart. So I'll go through Gemini in each house, and then it will tell you where the moon will land in your house. So all you have to do is go to your chart, and I'll use my chart as an example. All you got to do is go to your chart and figure out where Gemini is. Now, if you have no clue what your rising sign is, this can be challenging. I do have a video on YouTube on how to find your birth time if you don't know it. If you know someone that doesn't know their birth time, tell them to come to my YouTube channel, find the video. It's called Rectify Your Birth Chart. It'll literally tell you in a 45-minute video how to find the birth time if you don't know your birth time. I know tons of people come to me and ask me, what if you don't know? I have a video for it. Go check it out. Next is we want to figure out what houses mean in astrology, okay? If you're on my Patreon page, you definitely want to utilize the post that I made not so long ago about the actual houses and what each house represents. So I'm going to pull that up here today just for this class because it is over there for you. And then we're going to reference that when we're talking about all of the different places that this will affect you. So if anyone has any questions, this is a good time to ask. I'm just going to pull up this post real quick. Someone said, should we look at progressed moon sign? Yes, you should. Go check out my progressed video too. Look at your natal progressed to know how it will affect you at your core, and then look at your progressed to see how it will affect you in the moment. Your progressed moon is an updated moon for you. It usually shifts a couple signs. Sometimes it doesn't at all. Someone asked, can you talk about how to manifest and heal through the houses? For example, Leo in the 11th. We'll talk. I won't answer your question directly because that's not what I came here to do, that specific question, but I'm going to talk about it because it actually aligns with what we're talking about anyways. So let's look here at, I'm just going to switch the screen. I'm still new to going live, y'all. Bear with me. All right. And then I click on the Patreon. There we go. Cool. So if you're in my Patreon, you'll see this. You'll have access to this. Each of the houses represents these things. You do not need to have the zodiac in the house for it to apply still, but I'll show you too just how to work this chart. So this is my Patreon for you. I kind of go into detail about what this article here that I wrote out is about Lilith and how Lilith in your chart really affects you. Lilith is our trauma. So if you're interested in this article, it is over here on the Patreon. But let's get into the houses. The first house has to do about your independence and your image. So if you have Gemini rising, it's going to be about your independence and your image. Okay. If it's in your second house, it's going to be about your productivity and your stability. If Gemini moon is in your third house, if it falls into your third house, it's going to be around communication and connection. If it's in the fourth house, it's going to be around nurturing and security. Okay. So if you have it in your fifth house, it's going to be around performance and creativity, art, things like that. Creativity, art, creativity. If it's in your sixth house, it's about efficiency and logic. How can you be more in tune with your diet, with your health, with your work? If it's in your seventh house, it's going to be, the moon's going to be affecting your balance and harmony. If Gemini's in your seventh house, it's going to affect your balance and harmony. And then also it's going to affect your thoughts and communication because it's Gemini. And then also it's going to be becoming adaptable because Gemini is a mutable sign. Okay. So that's how you string together that meaning to understand what it means in your chart or in someone else's chart. You want to take the zodiac sign and what the zodiac sign does, and then you want to insert it into the house. Ask yourself, what does the house do? And then you can say, okay, the moon does this, Gemini does this, this house does this, and it falls into this part of my chart for me. So that's what it means. Okay. It's a lot of adding, but it's not complicated. If you screenshot this, record this, write this down, and do your best to remember it, it will stick. If you look at it and you hop off and then you slide into my comment section and ask me, what does it mean for you? You're not doing yourself any favors because I'm teaching you how to do it for yourself. I can't answer every single person. It's not realistically possible. That's why we're here. Okay. So the eighth house has to do with your transformation and intimacy. If the moon lands in your eighth house, it's going to affect your transformation, your intimacy of your communication. Okay. If it's in your ninth house of exploration and healing, it's going to be about how you heal by communicating, how you heal your thoughts, how you heal your thought processes, how you explore your thoughts. Okay. You add up the words so that it makes sense. Capricorn, if it's in the 12th, if you have Gemini in your 10th house, it's going to be about discipline and order around your communication, around your thoughts. If you're someone who has ADHD, how can you create an environment for yourself that you can be productive while still getting distracted, while still maintaining multiple areas of focus? Most people who have Aries placements and Gemini placements and Sagittarius and Virgo placements have crazy high ADHD because they're highly aware of their space. So you need to figure out, how do you specifically need to set up your environment to create an environment where you're not distracted as easily. If it's in the 11th house, it's going to be around social change and liberation. What does that mean? Speaking out against things that are not just, things that are imbalanced in the world. This is the time to step into that role. If you've been a social media warrior and you post things to your story, how about you try posting things to your page? How about you start making content around the things that you actually care about? This is the time to start doing that. I made a video earlier on YouTube here. Go watch that. It's about the 11th house, how to make content based on the element of the zodiac sign. Make content. Everyone should be sharing something, an idea, a thought, because everyone has Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius in their chart, and they're all three the air signs, which makes it good for them to communicate and share ideas. Everyone, you don't need to have planets in the house. You all have that house. You have 3 houses in air signs, just so everyone knows. There's no, oh, I don't have that. Yes, you do. You don't have planets. You may have asteroids. So last but not least, the 12th house is about death, rebirth, and ideal situations. So the ideal way to communicate, the way that you end or start conversations, thoughts, ideas, things that, have to do with communicating or thinking. This is going to affect you if you have a Taurus rising, or better yet, Gemini 12th house. Okay. So that's the easiest way I can break that down for you. I hope that really helped. The next thing I want to talk about here real quick is, and if anyone has any questions, it's the perfect time to type it in the chat, over here on YouTube because I can see you. I'm back in the thing now. So we talked about the Gemini full moon, how it's going to affect your communication, how it's going to allow you to communicate better or worse. If you actively aren't doing better, you're doing worse. I just want to like make that very clear. If you're struggling to communicate better, who in your life has strong communication? Who in your life is a Gemini who can like talk to you, that can help you, that you can maybe even look at the way that they communicate with others and adopt some of their principles, some of their values. You know, do you need to set more alarms? Do you need to use reminders? Do you need to set up different things so that you can show up on time for yourself, or whatever the case might be? I'm going to switch screens again. I'm confused on how to just switch screens directly, but it's all good. All right, so I want to talk about Venus retrograde. I was going to use my chart, but let's just look at the transits. So Venus retrograde is going to affect everyone. The reason why this is important is because the same day that the full moon happens, by the way, if you're on TikTok, you should hop over here onto YouTube so you can see my screen. The same day that the moon goes into Gemini is like the very next day. On Sunday, Venus goes retrograde in Capricorn and Chiron goes direct. Venus retrograde, who knows what Venus retrograde is? Who knows what Venus means? Who knows what retrograde means? Who knows what Capricorn means? Because all we're going to do is combine all three meanings, and that's just going to give us our answer. So Venus represents, every astrologer will tell you beauty and money. I'm going to tell you straight up, it means the law of attraction. Because most people, when they're using the law of attraction, they're trying to acquire love and money. So the law of attraction is easiest to just use it as the law of attraction. So what I'll have you do, and Carla, if you want to just go back in the video to that part, I did ask that question a little bit ago. Just go back in the video and you'll see it for the 9th house there for you. So when we look at Venus retrograde is the law of attraction in reverse. It's what have you been working towards, but you still haven't possibly taken the steps that you needed to, or allowed yourself to actually step into the energy of that role or position. And now you have to retrograde means review, rethink, reuse, reinvent, anything that involves doing it again. That's why usually people say don't start anything in retrograde, but it also means don't end anything in retrograde. To a lot of people, they give up on things in retrograde and they start things in retrograde. So I would like to encourage you to just make a plan from December 19th until the 29th, just that month and 10 days. Don't choose anything that is not in alignment with your plans. So make a plan around, how do you want your relationships to go? Do you want to spend money with your friends like you've been doing, or do you want to make money with your friends? Do you want to be around people that are benefiting you, or the people that you've always been around? Do you want to make new friends that invite you to become your best self, or do you want to stay around the people that are keeping you where you're at? Ask yourself these questions, write these things down, because it's going to put you in a position to actually follow through with it. Capricorn is really good at following through because it's an earth sign. Earth signs manifest through practicality and allowing themselves to make plans. I have like 4 or 5 Capricorn placements. That's the only reason why I'm able to do YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and then on top of that, handle my music and all this stuff. I'm just very organized. I'm not perfect, but I definitely go out of my way to buy planners, to use whiteboards, to set alarms, to do all these things to make sure that I'm organized for myself, so that other people who are depending on me, for example, the 300,000 people that follow me, I have a responsibility to give them information in an organized way. Okay. And if I don't plan, it doesn't happen. Okay. It doesn't happen at all. So I recommend, if you want to do anything big in your life, change anything in your life, plan it out so that you can at least have something to depend on realistically. Astrology is very spiritual, but it's also very practical. And I really need you to know that it's not this mystical woo woo bullshit. It's more so, oh, this is a cycle that I can prepare myself for. A lot of people during retrogrades, they'll just say, oh, I can't do anything. I'm stuck. I'm down. And they're just whining and complaining the whole time. But if they had taken the time to say, you know what, whatever is hurting right now is probably to help me and make me stronger. And because I have a plan, I know that. And because I took the time to actually know that it's going to benefit me, there's a huge difference in that mindset. Okay. So if you're struggling with things, definitely, like I said, don't watch my videos if you can help it without a notebook. Take notes on what I'm saying, because I'm always giving you free game. And I'm also answering you just by talking. So pay attention to that in your own life for this Venus retrograde. This is going to affect 100% your money, 100% relationships, but also just how you attract things to yourself in general. If you've been working on projects throughout the year, this is the right time to just finish them up also, because Venus has to do with art, and art usually goes into creativity, and creativity has to do with most of our projects. Definitely don't change your hairstyle or anything because it's Venus retrograde, but definitely, look at your health, look at your business, look at the things that you want to do long term, and make sure that you're actually accomplishing some of those things that you haven't finished. If you want to start something new, plan it for the 29th of January 2022, so that you have more of a chance of succeeding based on the energy also. Is that making sense to everybody? You can just type like 1 in the chat, or just say yeah, thumbs up or whatever. Yeah. So that's Venus retrograde. Our natal retrograde's easier. I don't understand your question. There's nothing necessarily easier or less easy in astrology besides planets in certain houses and zodiacs in certain planets. Whenever you have a retrograde in your chart, or whenever you see it in astrology, period, like I said before, you have to rethink, you have to review, you have to go in and look at how can you restructure something. There's really no like good or bad. It's, are you going to do something about it, or are you just going to sit on it and like let it fix itself? Because it won't. So it's really, it's a thought process. So I hope that explains retrograde for you natally and in the transit, just so that you can really you have to do something about it. No one's going to do it for you. And if it does happen, it's because by accident, not that anything's an accident. Okay. She said elbow cough. That's funny. So the same day that Venus goes retrograde is the same day that Chiron goes direct. Who knows what Chiron is without saying the wounded healer? Because Chiron going direct is a huge deal. We've had it in retrograde pretty much all throughout the summer, and a lot of people have been complaining about their journey because of this. So now we're going to see the same exact day after the full moon, all the shit that you've been asking for is actually going to start to show up, especially around your healing, because that's what Chiron represents. So Chiron represents how you heal yourself and other people is how I teach it. Yep, exactly, Irvin. So how you heal yourself and other people. So go look at what your Chiron does, Chiron. Go to my Patreon, go to my YouTube videos, go to TikTok. At the very top of my TikTok page, I do have Chiron, all the episodes for how to use it. How do you heal yourself and other people, and how have you not been using it? Okay, how have you not been using it? Because this is the time it's going to show up for you. If you've been doing the work, you're going to see it be easy. I made a video not that long ago about light work and shadow work. You cannot do light work or shadow work without light work and shadow work. If you do shadow work, you need to go and talk to people about what you just went through. A lot of people will claim they're doing shadow work and they're fighting demons. Okay, but then come and tell people how you were able to get out of your depressive episode so people stop committing suicide. We need to share that hope. Any type of hope that you collect from your deep, darkest places is what you need to be sharing with other people. Okay? A therapist, a family member, an audience, someone, a journal, a pet, someone, something needs to get that information. You cannot just do shadow work without doing light work. And if you are, it's going to stress you out. Okay. So taking the time to manage that is going to look like, what does your Chiron look like? Because whatever your Chiron zodiac sign is in, your zodiac sign in Chiron is going to say, okay, cool, we need to do this. And then the house is also going to tell you how. So I'm not going to talk about that in depth today because that'll make the video super long. But if you want me to make a video about it later, go ahead and comment or like shoot me a message or something, and I'll talk about it later. But when we're looking at Chiron direct and Venus retrograde, this is going to ask you, like, what do you want to heal around relationships, around attraction, around money for yourself, around beauty, harmony? What do you actually want to heal? Because you have to pick. It's hard to walk through life and want to become a better person, get a better relationship, make more money if you're not picking what that looks like for you. It's impossible. If you want $1 million, you need to have $1 million plan. There must be a plan. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. Okay? The chances are very low unless you have a plan. If you plan to have a better relationship, you need to, of course, look at what does a relationship look like to you? Does it look like the parents' relationship that you grew up with, your grandparents, the one that you saw on television, the one that your friend has that you're secretly envious of? What does it look like to you? Or is it the one that you have with yourself or your best friend who ends up becoming your lover or your twin flame? And a lot of you claim that you and your twin flame are in separation. Is that really your twin flame? Or are you just very attached to this person's body, mind, and spirit because of some things that you've done with them? That's something you want to address. Okay, because most people don't find their twin flame unless it's an arranged marriage, or you can see it in the chart if someone's supposed to be with someone. If you're in separation, is this person actually your twin flame? Does this person actually want to be with you? Or are you just creating that delusion still? And if you're so comfortable with them not being in your life, are they really your twin flame? Think about it. Because Venus and Chiron, this is going to ask you, in regards to love, in regards to money, how do you heal yourself and others? That's what the day after the full moon is going to represent. Okay. So consider that. Think about it. I hope that's helpful to you. Like I said before, if you want me to cover any of the things that I talked about, just comment in the video. Please like this video, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. We've gotten to 4,000 subscribers in a week or something, or 2 weeks. I don't even know, something crazy like that. But I have tons of resources again in the Patreon. I have my secrets in there, and I haven't even given all of my secrets over there. But there's a lot of secrets. I have, I think, almost 10 hours of content over there for you. So go and watch those. All of the classes that I did this summer, I think I've loaded about 60% of them. The other ones I'm going to be giving out in another way because it's all about asteroids, and a lot of people aren't studying asteroids yet. But if you want some asteroid content, I am an asteroid cosmologer, astrologer. So I have all of these things that I'm just willing to share to you because I feel like it's helped me understand myself deeply. And I would love to see that happen for you also, because knowing yourself is knowing your enemy. The faster you know who you are, the less you self-sabotage, right? So I appreciate all of you. I think I'm just going to hop off here unless someone has a question about something that I talked about. If you want me to make a video about something, I'll do that later, but don't ask me to do, just kind of stay in my boundaries, because otherwise I get my Aries will jump out, literally. She said, I'm following you here on Tiptoe. Hey, shout out to Tiptoe TikTok. I know what you meant. Do Gemini placements show twin flame? There's an asteroid called Amor that I would recommend. I do have it over in my Patreon page, by the way. Amor is a great asteroid to look at. Cool. Does anyone have any questions about something that I mentioned? Because I'm going to hop off pretty soon here before the questions do start to get off topic. Anyone have any questions about the full moon, the Venus retrograde, Chiron direct, any of those 3 topics? And if you're over there on TikTok, hop over to YouTube. Or actually, no, everyone go back to TikTok, I guess. If your moon's in the 5th house, the full moon's going to be affecting your performance and creativity. So what I do, everyone, all of you, if you don't know the houses yet, if you do not know the houses yet, I need all of you to do this right now, to save yourself the time and the trouble, because I have it on my Patreon for you. So for the houses, I believe I have a video or a post just on the houses. I'm going to see if I can open that up real quick for you. I forgot I have an article in here on trauma bonds if you're interested. I think this is it right here. Where's the houses post? Oh, and also if you make content on TikTok, I do also post trends in here. So I'll show you real quick what that looks like. Money, because the sun also represents father, it could also be an indicator of your dad being one of the ways you make money, or something that your dad did, or something that your dad didn't do, or a relationship that you have with your dad or one of his business partners or someone he knows could be another way for you to make money.
Okay.
So many combinations. So you do have Mercury here. So that's the 2nd house. That's Leo. Leo, again, is a fixed sign. So if you really want to make a lot of money, if you really want to have a stable income based on your astrological chart, you have to be consistent every day. Every day. There's no way around it. It's a fixed sign. Fixed signs have to be consistent. There's a person I used to watch called Leo King. He would make YouTube videos every day, and he did it for like 4 or 5 years, didn't miss a single day. And I was like, that is exactly what a Leo would do, because fixed signs, Taurus, Aquarius, what's the other one?